Welcome back to another episode of My Sister's TBR, the podcast where you join us in our bookish adventures. I'm Stacy.
And I'm Rebecca. We're your book-loving sisters navigating the vast world of literature, one heart-pounding story at a time.
Today's episode, we'll be sharing our monthly reads and delving into magical worlds we've explored this month.
Plus, we're shining a very well-deserved spotlight on a book that left us breathless. Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score, which is the third book of the Knock 'Em Out series.
Oh, we've been so excited for that. And it's finally here. We can finally discuss it. So, grab your coziest blanket and let's get started.
Got it.
So I'm stupidly excited to actually talk about Things We Left Behind, but I think we should back up a little bit and just talk about what we've read this month, because that's going to be, I think, really short.
I'm also very excited to talk about it because of the other book that I read this month.
I know.
Okay, so what did you read this month?
The one and only book other than the featured read that I read this month. This has literally been my worst month. I have only finished 2 books.
Oh my god. Who are you, me?
So, my first book this month was Pretend You're Mine by Lucy Score. And I read this one to hype me up for Things We Left Behind. It did the absolute opposite.
I've heard good things, though. I thought I seen a good review on that.
I don't trust reviews anymore.
Touché.
I don't trust them.
Yeah.
Because this was so underwhelming compared to her other books. And I've read a number of Lucy Score books now. And this one just fell flat in every sense. It's a contemporary romance, and I rated it a 2.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, and literally the only reason why I rated it a 2, I gave it that extra star just because it was Lucy Score, and, I adore Lucy Score, and I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt because this was 2015, so this was,
fair.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I mean, the book is almost 10 years old.
Yeah.
Fair. Thankfully, she has. I'll read out the plot. Meet Luke Garrison, the hometown hero and a dedicated National Guard member ready for his next deployment. He embodies strength, allure, and a hint of mystery. All he craves is solitude, and the last thing on his mind is a relationship that might disrupt his tranquility. However, fate has different plans when the captivating Harper unexpectedly enters his life. He quickly devises a plan. She can be the perfect pretend girlfriend, keeping his family at bay until his deployment. But what happens when pretending turns into something neither of them expected? Harper, no stranger to starting anew, finds herself drawn to Luke and the charms of the small town. His presence makes her contemplate settling down and transforming his house into a home. In Luke's embrace, she discovers what it truly means to feel safe and cherished. What starts as a single night sharing a bed evolves into a deep connection neither of them saw coming. As their hearts entwine, Luke grapples with his past, concealing the shadows that haunt him. Meanwhile, Harper guards her own secrets, fearful of the truth they both hide. They agreed it was all pretend, just for 1 month, but love has a way of revealing what's real, changing their lives in unexpected ways. Will they face the truth, or will their deception shatter the love they found? That sounds amazing. That is right up my alley.
Yeah, and especially after reading, that gives me the same vibes as, the Knock 'Em Out series. So after reading that,
yes.
Of course that's gonna be, sounds super interesting.
Exactly. Huh. Yeah, and I love, the small town romance, and, I'm not huge on the whole fake dating thing, but I think that it was well done in this book. I did enjoy that. It wasn't until about halfway through that things really started to go downhill for me. I don't like Luke. He started out pretty great, but like, again, to try to discuss this without spoilers is really difficult, but he is still very emotionally connected to his past.
Okay.
And he doesn't want to let go of things.
So he needs therapy.
Oh, he is just one big red flag on two legs.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But also, I mean, Harper she starts out, like, she's portrayed as, you know, this strong, no matter what came at her, she was always back on her 2 feet. But at some point, it's almost like she has an entire personality transplant. She lets him, like, walk all over her.
Oh, girly.
And it goes against, you know, what her character was at the start of the novel. So it just felt like poor writing to me. And it just felt so flat. It really did. The whole novel did. I wanted to like it because, you know, like, that description just sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I was digging too deep into something that just should have been just a surface level fluffy book.
We're not surface level people here, though. We dive in. We attach.
I don't know. I just, honest to God, rooted more for his best friend getting Harper.
Is there a book too?
Yep. Yeah, I think so. I think it's part of Benevolence #1.
Maybe he gets his moment. I have a feeling you're not going to attempt the second one, though. Based on those ratings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. But I'm just so thankful that her writing got quite a bit better.
It's not a good start for your month.
No. I wish my month went like your month.
Oh, God. Did I ever have a good month?
Oh. Hit us with it.
Oh, God. Okay. So I know you already read this. So at least now we can finally talk about it.
Finally talk about it.
I know you've been waiting. Okay. So I talked about this last episode because I was currently reading it back then. But Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, which is now actually book 1 of a series. She's releasing book 2 in November.
I've been waiting since June for this.
I don't even know how you're doing it. God. Okay. So, anyway, let's see. Okay. So obviously it is a fantasy and it's 682 pages. The fact that I finished 2 books this month that were 600 plus pages.
Yeah, you killed it.
Damn. Okay. I did read the description or the synopsis last episode, but I'm going to read it again just in case there is anybody who either doesn't know what Fourth Wing is about or if they forgot by some crazy way. Okay. Can't say I'd ever forget.
No.
Anyway, okay. An instant New York Times bestseller, a Goodreads most anticipated book, suspenseful, sexy, and with incredibly entertaining storytelling. The first in Yarros' Empyrean series will delight fans of romantic, adventure-filled fantasy. 20-year-old Violet Sorrengail was supposed to enter the Scribe Quadrant, living a quiet life among books and history. Now, the commanding general, also known as her toughest Talon's mother, has ordered Violet to join the hundreds of candidates striving to become the elite of Navarre, dragon riders. But when you're smaller than everyone else and your body is brittle, death is only a heartbeat away, because dragons don't bond to fragile humans. They incinerate them. With fewer dragons willing to bond than cadets, most would kill Violet to better their own chances of success. The rest would kill her just for being her mother's daughter, like Xaden Ryerson. The most powerful and ruthless wing leader in the Riders Quadrant. She'll need every edge her wits can give her just to see the next sunrise. Yet, with every day that passes, the war outside grows more deadly. The kingdom's protective wards are failing. The death toll continues to rise. Even worse, Violet begins to suspect leadership is hiding a terrible secret. Friends, enemies, lovers, everyone at Basgiath or college has an agenda. Because once you enter, there are only 2 ways out: graduate or die.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, I rated this an absolute 5-star.
Yeah.
No questions asked. And maybe I'm the red flag here, but as soon as a villain is introduced
Yep.
to a book,
there's a love interest.
She talked about Dane, like her childhood best friend, and like I was like, okay, yeah, like here we go. And then enter Xaden.
Yeah. Game over.
He wants to kill her? Hell yeah. Alright. Dane is gone out of my mind.
Sign me up.
Yep. Sign me up. Yeah, that just, there was like a whole day where I was reading for like 7-8 hours straight and I just could not stop. Like that scene,
yeah,
with the snow falling.
I listened to the audiobook.
Good lord. Was it the dramatized?
No.
Okay, but still.
No, I don't know. Is the dramatized out now?
Oh, it's not. I don't think it's out yet.
I don't know if it's out.
I forgot that.
No. But yeah, it was just the regular audiobook, but it was still really, really good.
I want to like reread it and just so I can just listen to it.
I should have reread it, especially before the book club.
But honestly, I want to, like, I'm going to attempt it. We'll see what's going on in November. But when she releases book 2, Iron Flame, I'd be down to just listen to it again before that comes out. Because the ending had me absolutely jaw on the floor. What?
Yeah. I just shared a story with a video that somebody had made on, I think, Instagram. Maybe it was TikTok, but I shared it to my story on Instagram of the scene from Barbie where she's like singing in the car and then Ken starts singing back behind her and it said like me reading Fourth Wing on the last page and then that's the last the last paragraph. Just
wow.
Blew the whole story open. If like that alone is enough reason to get somebody to read it. Like if you haven't read it yet, just for that last paragraph alone.
But like it makes sense, like now thinking back, it makes complete sense because of them specifying that only certain healers or like healers can put something back to its natural state. That's where I'm like, shit. Like they were just putting in grains of salt of like little tiny hints. Like now it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
God. 10 out of 10.
Oh, if I could rate this, like, I was going to say, if I could rate this higher than a 5, I would. I want to say, like, it would be my top read of 2023, but I also read, like, ACOTAR this year.
Yeah, I can't.
So, I mean, it's easily on the same level for me, but I wouldn't be able to pick one or the other.
Yeah, I can see that, honestly. Like, anybody who has liked ACOTAR, like, I understand now why you were trying to get me to read this for so long.
It's not a heavy fantasy, so it's easy for, like, a beginner or, like, an introductory to fantasy, I found.
Yeah, I agree with you now. Like, I completely understand what you meant by that, because I had absolutely no issue with visualizing everything. Like, those, the fan art that I was tagging you in on TikTok.
Yeah.
Like, that was, like, oh, perfection.
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyway, let's shut up before before we start spilling too much.
I can't, in good conscience, say, like, it's, you know, the best fantasy, the best writing, because I can't say it was, like, the best writing. Like, there were still, I think, areas where she could have been better. Mm-hmm. And I get that that's not everybody's cup of tea. Like, if you're a seasoned fantasy reader, this may feel more YA in the sense of storytelling. Not so much the steamy scenes. Don't say, I can't say it's a YA because there's too much steam. But as for like the storytelling side of it, just didn't feel adult, I guess, in some sense.
Yeah, and see, like, with you are an avid fantasy reader, so, like, you're more...
I would pick up on that, I guess.
Yeah, you're more knowledgeable with things like that, but with me, like, where I'm new into the fantasy worlds, like, this is... I thought that was perfection.
Yeah, but, like, where I'm reading the Robin Hobbs series, the Farseer trilogy, like, that I feel is on a different level. Now, I'm, like, is obviously going to be a wonderful series. It's super highly rated. But I may not rate that one quite as high as I would Fourth Wing, just because I enjoyed the hell out of myself reading Fourth Wing. I found that was just such a fun read, whereas the Farseer trilogy, I have to really use my brain more.
Yeah.
Because it's a heavier fantasy. So I have to, like, I don't know. My brain just has to work more reading that book.
And this is why I like dark romance and romance fantasy, because I don't like to use my brain.
Oh, I can't wait to get back into the dark romances.
Oh. All right, what was your next read?
The featured read.
Oh, okay, me too. We can just jump right in. God, what a weird month for you.
I guess on average this year, it's been more like 6 or 7 books that I've been reading in a month. But, like, I could pump out 13 books a month. But this month, I was still in a slump from the previous month of trying to read all the thrillers. Plus then Pretend Your Mind just really nosedived everything for me. And I feel so bad. Like, I feel like I'm being really mean to Lucy Score. I don't want to be, but...
we're going to make up for it now after we discuss things we left behind.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I just want to reiterate that this is book 3 of the series. So, if you have plans to read the other 2 books before listening to this discussion, probably just get out now.
Yeah, maybe.
Because, like, I mean, I feel like even our spoil-free discussion is still going to be somewhat a spoiler, even if you've only read the first book.
For the series, not necessarily the book. Yeah.
Yeah, just for the series itself, because we're going to be talking about 2 different point of views here now that you didn't get in the first book or the second book, so it's like... We'll try our best to, but I mean, even, like, the description is probably, I don't know, just...
We didn't read the description on the last episode because we felt it was a little too much.
We didn't want to, but we didn't want to listen to it, though. Yeah. So, yeah, just, I mean, if you want to stick around, just, yeah. You want to read us the description now?
Sure. So, obviously... It's Lucy Score, so it's going to be contemporary romance. That's just a given. It was 592 pages, apparently. The Kindle edition. Yeah. So, like we said, we have been really looking forward to this book. We featured book 1. That was our very first book that we featured on our podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
First episode. Oh.
That's so cute. And then we featured the second book. And obviously we had to feature book 3.
Of course.
So, this book was with Sloane and Lucy's point of views. Which, anybody who got a little whiff of them in the first book, we've all been looking forward to this. We've been waiting. We were hoping that book 2 was this. It wasn't. That's okay.
But, well worth the wait.
Mm-hmm.
Well worth the wait. Good Lord.
I have some feelings about this book that I think is going to be best left for the end of episode where I can spoil everything. But for the most part, yes. There was only one woman who could set me free, but I would rather set myself on fire than ask Sloane Walton for anything. Lucian Rollins is a lean, mean, vengeance-seeking mogul. On a quest to erase his father's mark on the family name, he spends every waking minute pulling strings and building an industrial empire. The more money and power he amasses, the safer he is from threats. Except when it comes to the feisty, small-town librarian that keeps him up at night. Sloane Walton is a spitfire determined to carry on her father's quest for justice. She'll do that just as soon as she figures out exactly what the man she hates did to, or for, her family. Bonded by an old, dark secret from the past and the dislike they now share for each other, Sloane trusts Lucien about as far as she can throw his designer-suited body. When bickering accidentally turns to foreplay, these two find themselves not quite regretting their steamy one-night stand. Once those flames are fanned, it seems impossible to put them out again. But with Sloane ready to start a family and Lucien refusing to even consider the idea of marriage and kids, these enemies to lovers are stuck in it at an impasse. Broken men break women. It's what Lucien believes, what he's witnessed, and he's not going to take the chance with Sloane. He'd rather live a life of solitude than put her in danger, but he learns the hard way that leaving her means leaving her unprotected from other threats. It's the second time he's ruthlessly cut her out of his life. There's no way she's going to give him a third chance. He's just going to have to make one for himself.
I'm glad that we didn't read that before reading it, because
I liked going into it kind of blind, because that, I feel, gives quite a bit away from the book.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we knew something was going to happen. It's a freaking romance, obviously, but I don't like reading it and seeing, confirming my suspicions, you know what I mean? I'd rather be oh, a little bit of surprise, I don't know.
So, I loved the bickering, how, they couldn't even stand being in the same room together. The enemies to lovers is my favorite trope. And I love how that was, 70% of the book.
Mm-hmm.
But after the 70%, and I know that you will pick up on what I'm trying to say, because I got to say it without spoilers. But when that happened, and he did a total 180.
And did you like it when he flipped the switch, or you didn't like it?
No. So, the last, 25% of the book, I felt really went downhill for me. I don't know.
I think you
why.
also have a red flag here, Stacey. I think you also really like the bad boys.
Yes. Guilty. But no, I just felt like so much of the last 25% of the book could have been done differently.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like not much happened between 1% and 75%. It feels like all of the plot was crammed in the last 25% of the book. Why was that not spread out more?
See, I don't know. I don't feel that way.
Oh, God. That's why I docked I rated it 4 stars. I could have rated it a full 5 if the ending was a little, I don't know, it was just done differently. Or not so crammed in the last 100 pages.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I...
What did you rate it?
I think I agree with the 4 stars. I don't know, just because I compare it to, like I said, the other fantasy books, but
yeah,
I thought that the first 75% of the book, like you were saying, I thought that was great. And honestly, I'm kind of glad that the ending wasn't as spread out, honestly, because I don't... This is just me.
You didn't really care for it?
I didn't care to listen about their families and how... I don't know, that's just... It's shocking, but
You literally just wanted it for the spice, not the plot. Just say it, Rebecca.
We know what I like here, okay? There's no hiding it.
No.
I don't know. I thought that it was all in good portions, honestly.
I
don't know. But
we'll discuss more when we can talk spoilers.
I know. It's so hard to discuss this without spoilers because God.
Yeah. I agree.
Another thing that I did notice, and maybe this is why I also docked a star, because if anybody listened to our other episodes when we featured the other two books, or the last book, second book, it had, so book 2 I felt had the same ending as book 1. And I still feel there's no difference.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I like this one more than book 2. I do, because I felt like book 2 was the exact same as book 1. That kind of pissed me off, because I wanted to read something a little bit different. So I do like that this one had a bit of a twist.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's like, and I get that it's a romance. I know it's going to happen. It's bound to happen in every single romance that you're going to read. But, like, I don't know.
I feel like her writing in this one, it did feel better. But I did notice that there were so many parts in this novel that she called back to all the other couples.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like it felt like it was really being, like, thrown in our face, like, Naomi and Knox, Lena and Nash. Like,
yeah.
Like, we read the other two books. You don't need to keep reminding us that they're married or that they're engaged. Like, it felt so excessive.
Yeah, I can see that now, actually. 'Cause, like, it'd be different if this was labeled as a book that you could read as a standalone, maybe.
Yeah, like a standalone. Yeah.
Then yes, I understand that. But I mean, like,
it was kind of like they were reintroducing the other couples. And we didn't need that.
No.
Because this isn't a standalone novel.
We're on book 3. We're already committed. Yeah. We know what's going on.
Also, another issue that I had with this book, another reason why I docked a star, her friggin' characters are 40 years old. They do not need to be acting like 18 and 19-year-olds.
Okay.
Why?
Yes. Again, yes. Yep.
I had this issue with the other books.
Yep, you did. Like, when I was reading that, like, I kept forgetting that they were 40. Like, I could understand 30. Say 30. Still, even with that, I don't know. But, like,
I'm 30. I'm 31. Like,
yeah. Like,
a lot of the shit that they were pulling was, like, early 20s.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Sloane would come in with the whole, it's going to be too late for me to have a family. And then you're just like, oh, shit, right. They're, like, 40 years old.
Yeah. Their personality, like, which is fine. If you're young at heart, you're young at heart. Yeah. But, like, the shit that they were, I agree.
Yeah.
I forgot again that they're 40 until you just brought that up. So, the majority of the things that I have to say or talk about will have to wait because they're spoilers and I just want to talk about it. But, the end of chapter 20 and all of chapter 21. I made sure to note this because, good lord, this was when...
Can you give me a hint?
The hotel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I can't say that it was a big shocking surprise.
No.
It was just very nice.
But, like, and another thing I like, though, too, I felt like this was a lot more steamy than her other two books. Like, I felt like there were more...
Oh, yeah.
Just his use of good girl. Maybe that's...
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, like, he was really good at, like, being vocal, I guess, is the best way to put that. Mm-hmm. But, on the other hand, I did not like how often Sloane had to make some sort of comment on his size. It was literally so many times.
Yeah, that's true.
So many times. And every time that she did, I was just like, oh god. Again.
That is true.
Like, it was just cringy a little. I mean, I could have done without that part. Yeah. Like, yes, we know.
Yeah.
We know.
I haven't forgotten.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
Did you pick up on the nods to the other two books, though? Very subtle. Well, no, I can't really say that they were super subtle because it stuck out to me.
What do you mean, like the titles?
Okay, so you got that quote.
Yeah, like things that we leave behind or things that we hide from the light. Or
There
something.
are some things we never get over, some things we hide from the light.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cute.
I didn't pick up on the first part, actually. I never picked up on the first part, but I picked up on the things that we hide from the light. I did pick up on that.
There was another part where she's wearing a blue bathrobe with daisies.
Oh, yes.
Yep. There was another section. I don't remember who it was. If it was the lawyer or the attorney that Lucien suggested to Sloane, I think. But she was wearing a pale pink leather blazer emblazoned with lilies of the valley, which is the color and the flowers on the second book. I thought that was so neat that she was bringing those two book covers into the story.
I think that's actually so smart and such a good writing style to be able to do that.
Yeah. And then the cherry blossoms that are on the front of this being the cherry tree that he climbed to get into her room. I love when authors put that much thought into their cover. It's not just a picture of some, like, couple kissing on the front or anything. Like, there's actual thought and purpose to the covers.
Like, when you're done reading it, it's like, holy shit. Like, that's that.
Yeah, and I know we've talked about it so many times with Colleen Hoover's books.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
I don't know. In my opinion, I liked this book a lot more than the first two. I might just be blinded by chapter 21. I might still be blinded.
The Suit Daddy. I love how they called him that multiple times in the book.
Yeah.
But no, I still think that book one was still my favorite. I think just, I don't know, something about Knox was just, I really liked it.
With him being like the first one that we were introduced to, like, obviously we're gonna have ties to him.
Yeah, there's definitely ties. Second one, I still did not care for.
No, literally same. Like, that was,
and this one was definitely better.
Yeah.
But overall, I still think, like, even with book 2 being rated low, I still think I would rate the whole series a 4 out of 5.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I completely agree.
Ilsa and I were talking about it last night, and she said that, like we got that vibe through the book that there would be a fourth from Steph's point of view, which would have been, I think, would have been awesome. I would have definitely read it. But then I feel like the epilogue just destroyed that thought. It felt like, I don't know, like, what else would she write if she were to do a Steph and Jeremiah book?
Oh, true, because of her jumping, like, 10 years.
Yeah, we got it all.
Yeah, no, that is so true.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm still weirded out about their age. In the epilogue, she jumps 10 years.
Yeah.
So I can't. No. It just doesn't make any sense in my head. It doesn't line up. And especially, again, with them being 40 years old, and she references that Sloane and Lucien had a feud for 20 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time for them to be in this continuous cycle. 20 years.
Yeah. I feel like it all would have been more believable and probably would have sat better with readers if she said that they were all 30.
Yeah.
Or like mid-20s to 30s.
Yeah, like 25, 100%, because you still got some immature tendencies when it comes to things like that.
Yeah.
Like with their history and all of their drama that they've got going on, but like for all of that to be in your 40s, I don't know. God help me if I have drama in my 40s. No.
Yep. Why do you think I don't go anywhere?
Yeah. But overall, I don't know. I'd still give it a 4. I'm just slowly coming to my senses now, and I think I'm not so much a fan of contemporary romance.
Okay.
I just like my dark romance more than I don't want
Yeah.
a happy ending every single time.
I know, I felt like that because as I was reading this, I felt like I was skimming
Yeah.
the last part of it because it was just, everybody was too happy.
Yeah. Like, come on, somebody else gets shot or somebody else get kidnapped.
Okay, yeah, we definitely need to go back to the dark side.
I think we need therapy.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt. The way, like, I smiled when I read this part, and it's only just a short little sentence. There are some things only Mr. Wrong can deliver. I was like,
Yep.
okay.
Touche,
Okay.
my friend. Heck yeah.
I don't know, like, they went from, like, such a, like, the fun banter, bickering, just like that love-hate going back and forth, to,
Like, I get that, like, obviously having something monumental happen in somebody's life that's going to make you take a step back and look at someone differently when you're so close to, like,
yeah.
losing them or whatever. I don't know.
It just felt weird. Like, it just
Yeah.
felt like it was very out of character.
Yeah, and especially, again, with them being in this feud for 20 years,
Mhm.
that's a bit extensive for it to be just so quickly snapped and, like, flipped
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
20 years, that's almost my whole lifespan. Like, what?
Oh, that's weird to think about.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But, hey, it was good. It was still good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did still enjoy
I
it.
won't say it wasn't.
Yeah. But I can elaborate on more of the things that I really enjoyed at the, like, when we go into our spoilers, because there were a lot of things that I can actually talk about that I really liked, and I have some things that I want to talk about, but I just can't yet. So, October featured read. I'm excited. Okay.
Going a little spooky.
But not too spooky like how we ruined
No.
last month.
Yes. And we're still going to be focusing on dark romances.
Yeah.
So.
The dark.
Mm-hmm. But our featured read.
Yeah.
What is it, Rebecca?
I'll tell you, Stacey. Okay.
Thank you.
The Coven by Harper L. Woods. I love the cover. Even the cover alone just really...
Oh, it looks beautiful.
Grabs my attention here. Okay. 298 pages. And, this was actually released this year. Back in March.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. So, revenge. Raised to be my father's weapon against the Coven that took away his sister and his birthright, I would do anything to protect my younger brother from suffering the same fate. My duty forces me to the secret town of Crystal Hollow and the prestigious Hollows Grove University, where the best and brightest of my kind learn to practice their magic free from human judgment. There are no whispered words here, no condemnation for the blood that flows through my veins. The only animosity I face comes from the beautiful and infuriating headmaster, Alaric Grayson Thorne, a man who despises me just as much as I loathe him and everything he stands for. We know where that's going to go.
I can't wait.
But that doesn't mean secrets don't threaten to tear the school in two. No one talks about the bloody massacre that forced it to close decades prior, only the opportunity it can afford to those fortunate enough to attend. Because for the first time in 50 years, the Coven will open its wards to the 13 promising students destined to change the world, if the ghosts of Hollows Grove's victims don't kill them first. The Coven is book 1 in the Coven of Bones series and ends on a cliffhanger. This is a gothic, dark academia paranormal romance and includes elements that may be triggering to some readers.
Oh, we love trigger warnings.
Eat it right up. Sign me up.
So here we're finally going to be reading a dark academia. We talked about that briefly I don't know if it was last episode or the episode before.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently the spice in this is like 4 out of 5.
Okay.
So, when is the second book? If it ends on a cliffhanger.
Oh, that should be coming.
Oh.
When?
September 7th.
Oh.
So we could, okay.
Back to back.
If it's like, yeah, we can do it back to back.
Book 1 and then book 2.
Done.
I'm excited for that.
So yeah, I'm very excited. I wish I could have gotten the physical for that book, but
it's beautiful.
I guess our Kindles will have to do.
Yeah. Okay, I'm excited. I just want to talk about spoilers. Come on, let's go.
Okay, bye.
Okay, so get out now if you haven't read Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score, because we are about to absolutely ruin it for you.
Pick it apart. Yeah,
Yep.
We are literally going to be picking it apart. Don't forget to head over to our Instagram at MySistersTBR. We have, stuff going on there.
We have stuff going on.
Just stuff.
Yeah.
But just to keep an eye on what we're doing and what we're reading. And every bit of support that you give us helps us produce this.
Appreciate it. Okay. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Get out. I laughed a nice bit in this book, honestly. I really did.
Right off the bat. God, he was beautiful. Supernaturally molded by the gods beautiful. He would make gorgeous little demon babies. That was my first highlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would. I don't know. So, I'll start off by talking about the spice, because I really enjoyed the spice.
Yep.
The end of chapter 20, how it ends they're at the hotel and he sees her in the middle of a group of boys or men.
Yep.
I should specify actually, because they're 40. But then I love how possessive he is over her.
Yep.
And when she's sat on the stool next to him, and then at the end of that chapter it's just him pulling her stool right next to him. Oh,
I know.
I'm pretty sure I squealed multiple times.
She was really good at visuals, I feel, in this novel. I had no problem picturing this like a movie.
Yeah, same.
As I was reading it, so.
Yeah, but then just chapter 20, was very, very descriptive. Or chapter 21, sorry. And I noticed that I already said this earlier, but there wasn't just one sex scene and that was done, and then they were all fell in love. It was there was multiple. Yeah,
but again, I could have done without how often she talked about his size.
Yeah.
It was just every time, and I was just girl, you can't still be surprised. Are you still surprised?
Yeah.
I wanted more from their past scenes.
Yeah, because there wasn't a whole lot. There was enough so that we could understand what was going on, but I wanted a lot more information.
Yeah. I didn't get that connection with their younger selves. It's she just gave us enough just to give us an idea of everything that was going on back then. But I wanted to connect to them. Oh, I have a really good example of the book that it reminded me of. Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. It was giving me that vibe because it was going back to their younger selves. But Love in Other Words done it so much better. Christina Lauren just blew that out of the park. The connection that I felt with them as teenagers and also as adults. Like, they did such a good job with that. And I felt like Lucy could have had a very similar, I don't know, like, reaction from readers if she just put a little more time or a little more effort into portraying them as their younger selves and, you know, making us grow that connection with them.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel that, and I wanted to.
I know, I feel like, as I think back to the book now, to their, like, the past scenes, I feel like all that comes to my mind with their past scenes is just that one time when they were, when he snuck in. Like, I feel like it only happened twice that we know of.
Yeah.
That he, like, snuck up into her bedroom, right? Like, I feel like we need, because it obviously happened a lot more than that, but, like, I don't know. I wanted, like, give us more than that. Oh my god. So, I think one of my favorite scenes, though, honestly, is when Lucien, Knox, and Nash are outside of the bar and they're fighting.
Oh my god.
But they're not even, like, actually fighting. They're, like...
Yeah. I could see, like, why, like, what Knox and Nash, you know, how they said, like, we could never hit you. Yeah. You know, like, the way that they hit each other. Oh, I just hit my mic again. Speaking of hitting things. And I never thought about that. Like, that was so sad.
Yeah, he went through some traumatic
crap.
crap.
Yeah, I can't wrap my head around it. But it was pretty humorous, like, turn serious, then turn funny again.
Yeah. But, like, yeah, just their friendship is, that was so wholesome.
Yeah. I loved how Lucien's relationship with Sloane's father, how on the same sort of wavelength, I want to know how Sloane's parents kept their whole, like, close relationship with Lucien a secret for 20 years. Like, from Sloane. Like, Sloane was so floored by it.
Like, the timeline just doesn't make sense in my head. Like, 20 freaking years in a small town.
If you take that down to 10, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe? Even that still feels like it's pushing it. Yeah, I feel like...
I completely agree.
Timelines and ages just really went wonky, and it needs to be cut back or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was really wholesome, though, like, finding that out and, like, putting all of the pieces together with, like, how his parents, like, took him in, basically, as, like...
Yeah. Just, like, as their own. You know, like, he was there for suppers, and, I thought,
just so sweet. Ugh. But he needed that, like, completely, because he obviously didn't have it at his parents' house.
No.
And hence the trauma.
Yeah.
But, so, like, I get, like, see, I don't know, like, again, with the miscommunication, he should have just talked to Sloane about what happened that night, right from the get-go, before letting 20 years slip by, and him just holding on to a feud.
Yeah.
Like, I can understand for a couple of years being upset with her because that ultimately left her or his mom, like, exposed to his father.
Yeah.
But for 20, I don't know, I'm just still 20 years.
Yeah.
Come on. Especially with them being in the same friend group. It'd be different if, like, they didn't have the same friend group and they didn't cross paths for 20 years.
Yeah.
They had the same friend group. Same best friends.
Not to mention just how close he was to her parents for 20 years.
Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah. But, like, it was very eye-opening, too, like, when Sloane finally got the details on what Lucien did for her father. Like, buying that house or apartment, whatever it was at the time. close to his treatment. Yeah.
And then putting him in that trial treatment so that he could have an extra 6 months or 6 weeks.
Yeah, that was...
Oh.
Mm-hmm. But, like, again, how did Sloane not know?
Yeah.
Like, was she oblivious?
It's... Yeah. Like, the timeline just doesn't make sense at all, but we can just pretend that it wasn't actually 20 years, and we'll just say 5.
That makes more sense to me.
We're gonna just change it ourselves.
Okay.
It's just 5 years.
Okay. That sounds good to me.
Okay. The plot twist. Do you know what plot twist I'm talking about?
The plot twist.
God, there was a plot twist.
At what point?
The restaurant?
The one when he was there with his mother?
Yep.
Yep.
And in walks...
I expected it.
Anthony
I honestly
Hugo.
did.
I didn't expect it.
As soon as, it was, mentioned that he was, I was just like, it's going to be Anthony Hugo. Like, when she was mentioning how she was seeing somebody, I was like, it's going to be Anthony Hugo. Like, it's...
Oh my god. I had no idea.
I freaking knew it.
You'd make a good detective, I think, actually.
Well, I didn't have any evidence to support it. It was just a gut feeling, and I don't think that...
Yeah.
The way
Okay,
that she got on with Lucien, like, after that supper, when she was, like, after when, like, all that shit hit the fan, like, she was upset with Lucien for embarrassing her.
Yeah, so this is when, Sloane, like, told her off,
rips
right?
into her.
The elevator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I love the way that she stood up for Lucien. She was just like, you do not get to treat him like that.
And I like how he referenced back to that and, like, said, like, no one's ever stood up for me like that before. Like,
yeah. I think I may have gotten a spoiler for The Midnight Library by reading this book.
Oh, right.
I saved that quote because it floored me. Like, I don't know if it is, to me, it sounds like a pretty big spoiler.
We needed some warning with that. I don't think I'm gonna end up reading The Midnight Library. It hasn't been on my TBR,
wanted to.
But shit. Well, now you know what's gonna happen.
Did you have a hard time visualizing the the proposal? I mean, I thought it was pretty comical, but it also seemed, like, almost dumb. The way that Knox was in, like, the shrub.
Oh.
Wearing camouflage.
Okay.
Recording.
That's literally in my notes here. I laughed out loud. Like, what?
I laughed. Yeah, I did too.
I had no issue visualizing that at all. But at first, in my head, I visualized, like, they were in a different area of, like, the house or, like, whatever. But then it, like, adjusted in my head after it described it a little bit more. But as soon as...
I can't see Knox doing that.
But he's a love-struck idiot now. He is a mushball. Of course he's gonna do that now.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Right? But, like, as soon as Nash is there with the speakerphone with the Shania Twain, You're Still the One playing through it, I don't know. That just made me laugh because, like, that is so cheesy for them both to be doing that.
Yeah.
But, like...
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true friends right there.
A movement in the shrubbery caught my eye. Knox Morgan, wearing camouflage and green face paint, rose out of a rhododendron with his phone. He gave me the thumbs up. Like...
I can see it, honestly. I can.
What? I guess I had a hard time. Like, I laughed. I thought it was hilarious. And especially then when it went on to talk about Nash being back behind a tree and you can still kind of see him. And he's just playing Shania Twain from his phone. It was very funny. It's just, it felt so out of place, though. Like, a lot of the last 25% of the book just did not feel like the same characters.
Yeah.
It was just too happy, too mushy, too many couples, too much happening. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just need to go back to dark romances.
We had a nice little break from, we just gotta keep switching it up because I also need a break from the romance now.
Yeah.
The strict romance.
Yeah.
I need some darkness and some tears.
Yeah. Give me, like, the dark fantasy, just something other than just the happily ever after.
We had enough.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at my highlights here that I had highlighted. And there are literally just from the sex scenes. So let me just read them out here really quick. This one made me laugh though.
Ooh. I wonder if we've both highlighted the same one.
Probably. I don't know. Okay. So this one is this time he didn't just pull me to him, he lifted me off the floor and pinned me against the closet wall with his body. My feet dangled inches above the carpet as his king-size erection, again, too many descriptions, lodged itself against me, effectively skewering me to the wall like a butterfly in a shadow box. Oh no, that just made me laugh.
Oh my god.
And then, of course, I've got good girl, he growled. And then, look at me.
There were lots of good girls.
Look at me, he commanded. I opened my eyes and tried to keep my expression neutral. Why? Because I want to see your eyes when I take you. Gulp.
Did you highlight the breathe Sloan? How he says, breathe Sloan. The command sounded pained. I sucked in a wheezy breath. Christ, baby, I need you to relax. Lucian's forehead met mine. You don't have all of it yet.
Oh, yep.
Okay.
When I turned over to the audiobook and like there was another sex scene while I had like the audio playing, that was like, I remember I was like just cleaning up and I just stopped and I was like, okay.
Yep. Audiobooks make it totally different.
Shit. Yep. I don't know. Overall, yeah, I think it was a good book, but again, we still have our complaints. What?
I have to read this one out too. I forgot about this. He lunged for me, his teeth grazing my neck. Hold still, you snack-sized human. I gasped with laughter and collapsed against him again. Playful Lucian was an entirely new creature to me, like Edward after Bella had discovered his secret in Twilight. Only I hadn't discovered Lucian's secret. I just had a whole lot of sex with him. Oh, love the Twilight callback.
She definitely didn't lose her like humor like in her writing. That's what I really liked. And like all of the name calling and oh god, I really enjoyed Sloane's character though. Like she was funny and god. Still don't picture her as a 40-year-old, but
no, I was gonna say it's still just the issue of her age just doesn't fit. It doesn't work in my brain.
Yeah. I agree.
I do have a recommendation if you would like another kind of similar. If book 1 and book 3 had a baby, I feel like it would be By a Thread by Lucy Score.
Okay.
Just not necessarily for you, because I know I've said that to you a few times for you to read that book, but just listeners.
Okay.
It's a good one.
Add it to the TBR. Yeah, I do like that though. But I just need a break from romance. It's fine. Just a little tiny break.
Yep. Next month will be our dark, twisty. Still sticking with romance, but focusing more on dark and fantasy, maybe.
Home. Okay, well, thanks for sticking around. Hopefully we didn't ruin a book for you if you continued to listen and didn't listen to us about getting out.
Not our fault.
Nope, there was warnings.
Yep. Hopefully you join us again with the Coven for October's book. Thanks for listening. Doodles.
Bye.